Hello, welcome back to Girona, welcome back to Sea Otter Europe 2024. I got me coffee, I'm ready to talk fancy tech here at the show. Now I don't know what way these videos are going up, I might have had a gravel one up already, I might have had a road one up already, but this one is all about the Spanish cycling scene, or at least the Spanish cycling brands, because it is amazing how many are here. It is amazing how many big and medium brands are here that you don't really see outside of Europe or even that much in the rest of Europe. Spain definitely has a really strong cycling culture, we know that. Even though the Vuelta might be the third Grand Tour of the year, the little sibling, it definitely doesn't mean that the culture here, the racing here, the market here is the little sibling at all. It is thriving. Now I live in France, so I know kind of the scene there. It's a little bit old school, shall we say. You still see plenty of guys on the club runs running around on alloy frames, 10-year-old carbon frames, and that is no problem at all. I love it. I geek out when I go to the coffee shop, seeing an old Cannondale CAD 9 or CAD 7 still doing the rounds, still going strong. Awesome. I've got one as well. But you come here and you realise that even though Spain's maybe thought of as being a little bit not as rich as other countries, there is money in cycling. Now in France, yes, you've got Lapierre, you've got Look, Mavic, a few like that, and they've always been a little bit, let's say, struggling, or you don't see so many out and about. But the brands here you definitely see out and about, and especially in Spain. Albeit, as we know, are the big players based over in the Basque region, and they got some lovely bikes. We've talked about them time and time again. I've tested loads of them, and I'm a big fan of the brand. They're here, of course, with a huge stand. And there's brands here that I'm going to delve into that you probably haven't heard of, or if you have, you'll only know a little bit about them and maybe not have even seen their bikes before. So let's move on from the Basque region, or let's stay in the Basque region and move down to a small brand that once was quite a big player, but definitely has scaled back in the past, I'm going to say 30 years, and that is Vittoria. They're out of, well, believe it or not, Vittoria, a city that had a recent stage start of Vuelta. Now these have got some really sweet looking bikes, and they definitely seem that they're investing some money into getting the brand reinvigorated again. The road bike looks lovely. They had a model there that wasn't quite finished, but ticked all the right boxes for what is classed as a modern race bike. They've updated the graphics, and I think just from looks, just from playing about with it a little bit, even though it's from a small brand, it could go toe-to-toe with any of your sort of mid-level bikes out on the market already. Next up, a brand that, if you've watched the Vuelta, you have seen, well, cross the line a couple of times. First, because that is MMR. These guys have got some lovely looking bikes, and it's amazing how large the range is. It's amazing how big the stand is. I've seen these before when checking out the Kern Farmer Squad's bike. And again, got to say, these things, even though they're not available outside of Europe, definitely tick a lot of boxes. Heck, they're pro-ready, aren't they? Now, I've lived in Europe for a good few years now, and it's a brand that I knew of, but was kind of seen as quite a cheap, low-end manufacturer probably about 7-8 years ago. But just recently, they definitely seem to have pushed to that higher end of the market, and you're seeing a lot of them out on the road. They're definitely doing a lot right, and I'm guessing the sponsorship of the team is bringing them a lot of attention. They're definitely using that team to develop the bikes a lot more. Now, another bike brand that's close to the MMR lot is BH. These guys also sponsor a pro team, the Burgos BH squad, who have had a really good season, actually. I think it's at the Tour of Taiwan that they took the win with recently, with the New Zealander Gates. I'll flash up the details here. Now, I saw these bikes back at the start of the year at Velo Follies and was surprised at the huge range that they've got. They're bigger than you think. And the gravel bike looks really interesting. Some crazy design going on there. Just look at that rear end. They've integrated a little bit of a bounce on the back end. And it's a bike that won the Spanish National Gravel Championships. Now check this out as well. They have done some really cool collaborations before with artists, and for this show they've done it again. absolutely wild, absolutely lovely, and it's on their gravel e-bike. Gotta say I'm digging it. Again, plenty of nice road bikes, definitely an improvement over what they were churning out a couple of years back, because they looked a little bit not pretty, shall we say. I know that's a bit harsh, but them forks on the old ones were shocking. On to Massey. Now, you might not have heard of these either, but again, a big player. They have got a huge range. And if you're watching this in the US, you'll be going, Dave, there's a Massey over here. Yes, spelt with one S though. These guys have been around probably about a century, if I remember rightly. They've got a big mountain bike team and a big range of bikes as well. Another huge player, Megamo. These guys are actually based here in Girona. I didn't know that. So yeah, local to the community here, doing bikes before bikes were a thing in Girona. They've been around forever, well, since the 80s. And I've got some absolute stunning machines. The manufacturing and cycling scene in Spain is huge. You won't believe the different brands that I've sort of spotted, the little brands, the medium brands, the wheel brands, the components brands. So I'm just where I'm sat at the moment. You got Silent, I don't know how you pronounce it, a lightweight wheel company, which I'll put in another video, from Spain as well. You got these guys, Guava, gravel bikes, which I've included in the gravel video. They're based in Barcelona. There's clothing companies, Go Big, who have just gone bananas over the past couple of years. I visited them probably about 6 years ago. There was maybe about 30 staff. They're up to over 200 now. And of course, have sponsored quite a few pro teams over the past 3 years. Movistar, and now Ineos, of course. And they also sponsored UAE Port 2 years ago as well, didn't they? It definitely seems like the Spanish cycling scene is thriving, even through these tough times that the industry is having at the moment. And it's really nice to see. Everything from your small players to your big players. There's definitely going to be brands that are looking further afield, looking to the US, looking to the UK scene. And it definitely feels like there's a lot of innovation as well. And there's a lot of brave people, I've got to say, a lot of brave people who are doing it for the passion and succeeding, which is really nice to see. As you know, Girona is the cycling capital of Europe now. It's taken the crown off Mallorca for sure. This is a sort of place that I'm guessing a lot of people now, if they're going to come to Europe for a cycling holiday, are tossing and turning up between going to the Alps or here. I can see why this place is thriving. And because of that hotbed of cycling culture here, you're getting a lot of brands coming out of here. So yeah, I think Spain has got a lot to offer the cycling world at the moment, and a lot coming as well. This is a show I'm going to be coming back to year upon year, I think, after just coming for this first year, because it's impressive. I just want to track how these brands sort of grow over the next year. So yeah, I might have rambled a little bit in this video about Spanish companies, but I just wanted to highlight a few of the smaller and bigger brands. Just show the world what Spain has got to offer, because it's a lot. All right, that's enough from me. I say gracias. There we are, there's my Spanish coming into play. I'm going to get out the rain, which is unusual for this area, but needed. They've been in drought for a little while. And as always, join the conversation below if you're watching on YouTube. If not, shoot us a message via the social media sites. And as always, thank you for watching and enjoy your riding.